wonder what the difference between blind, low vision, legally blind, and totally blind is? Hi, I'm blind, and this video will add a little bit of clarity to that. Don't mind my wet hair and pajamas. I want to start off by saying that many people will use different terms to describe themselves, and sometimes they may use multiple terms. Sometimes the terms that they use may be circumstantial. I made this handy-dandy chart to help clarify things. First, we have the term visually impaired, which encompasses all of the other terms. Visually impaired includes vision that is significantly impacted some way or somehow. Some people might not use the word visually impaired because they would rather use a term that has a little bit more clarity and find that other terms may be more helpful. Some people just don't like the term. Within that category, we have both low vision and blind, and there's a bit of overlap between the two. Let's start with blind. Nowadays, something that you might commonly hear is that blindness is a spectrum, and this is true. Often when people are saying blind, they mean either legally blind or in some other countries it's called registered blind. In the United States, legal blindness means vision that is 2200 or worse in the better eye with best possible correction and or a visual field of 20 degrees or less. So if you have vision that is at that threshold or worse, then you are under the category of legally blind. That includes a lot of different ways that people can see the world. You might be wondering why people don't just say legally blind, and there are a couple different reasons for that. One is that term often gets confused, and people will end up thinking things like, oh, well, I'm legally blind without my glasses. Which, if you have vision that can be corrected with glasses, that doesn't mean that you're legally blind. Or, specifically, if it can be corrected past that particular threshold. When people hear legally blind, they often either underestimate or overestimate how much somebody can see. For elder Gen Z folks like myself, another reason why some people might not like the term legally blind is because you think of that particular meme, you know the one from the days of Vine. I still shudder when I think about that when I tried to explain that I was legally blind to other people and they thought that I was just referencing a video. Now let's talk low vision. Low vision means that your vision is significantly impacted, but you still have some degree of functional vision that you can use for different tasks. Again, that amount can vary vastly from person to person. Some people with low vision would fall into the legally blind category because their vision is at or worse than that particular threshold. Some people have vision that is still significantly impacted, but it's not at that point, so they are not technically blind, but they're still low vision and they're still visually impaired. Some people may use different terms in different circumstances once again. For example, if I'm in a group with other blind people, sometimes I might say that I'm low vision because that could indicate to them that I might be able to perform some visual tasks. For example, I might be able to read something that is large print. Personally, I don't say the term low vision a lot when I'm dealing with strangers because not a lot of people know what the term low vision means, or if I say low vision, people way overestimate what I'm capable of seeing. For example, I've had people be like, oh, you're low vision? Don't worry, we got large print, and then they hand me something in 20-point font. I need size 48 to 52-point font. So again, there's a diverse amount of ways that people might be able to see with low vision. The next term on the umbrella is totally blind as it is colloquially used. As it is colloquially used, you often have people who both are no light perception and light perception/projection only, identifying as totally blind. One of the reasons why people might do this is because functionally people who have light perception only and no light perception may live very similar lives. They may need to use non-visual strategies to perform any or all tasks. And I've had a friend before who was light perception only who would tell me that it was just annoying to have to explain to people, no, I can't see this, no, I can't see that, instead of just saying I'm totally blind. Because even though I'm not in that category, I can still relate to the frustration of how many fingers am I holding up, done by strangers. This video is part 1 of 2. In part 2, I'll explain some examples for each of these categories. Again, some people may choose to identify in different ways, so at the end of the day, you want to go with however somebody self-identifies and what they choose to call themselves.